Today on Social Interchange, we're going to talk about the intersection of culture and modernity in the context of naming. You know, there is culture, there is modernity, there is religion. So, what is the intersection of these things in the context of naming? You know how we do it? Most likely, I'm going to do a bit of talking and I will let you in to contribute, share your mind, share your own beat. What do you think about the topic today? So, yeah, you know how we have a number of things that we do as Nigerians that are not really our culture as a people. For example, when you're having a white wedding, a church wedding, people wear white gowns and suits and all of that. And to some people, it is like the Christian practice, for example, but it is not. It's actually an English tradition. It has a history. Someone did it first, others copied it, and somehow it became what the English people did during their weddings. And when they colonized us and came with religion and all of that, we copied it, and somehow it became our own custom as Christians. Something happens to how we name ourselves. In Africa, for example, names have meanings, names have history and the reasons behind them. If you are named a particular thing, it probably tells the story of how you were born, the story of what your mother or your parents went through before you arrived, something like that. For example, in Igbo language, somebody can be bearing Obianu Joako. That is someone that came in the abundance of wealth. Someone can be named Chinasa, God answers for me. In Yoruba, you have similar things. Someone can be named Olua Belumi, God is with me, or God is with us, something like that. So names actually depict a number of things. They depict what happened within your birth, circumstances surrounding that birth. But over time, this culture of naming people according to maybe circumstances or according to culture is quite fading. We prefer to answer foreign names, and it's not like there is anything wrong with foreign names, but how do you actually maintain proper identity if you don't bear your local names? If I hear Michael, for example, I don't really think about an African instantly, but if I hear Musa, I know that person must be a Nigerian, and somewhere in Nigeria, in the north particularly. So names are a form of identity, or they are forms of identity. They identify you, they show where you are from. So why are we choosing foreign names, English, Greek, Hebrew name over our own local names? My name is Emmanuel, by the way, and my local name is Ifeanyi. But somehow over the years, Emmanuel has become my first name. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know. Emmanuel has become my first name, and I'm not about to change that. But if I have children tomorrow, I am not sure I am going to give them foreign names for reasons best known to me. But do you think it is appropriate to give children foreign names, English, Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Arabic names, when you can just give them local names that will depict their identity, depicts their culture, tell the story of where they are from, tell the story of who they are? Do you think we should name people more of local names, or just whatever you want? I mean, it's your choice. It is your child, and you can name them whatever you want. So what is your opinion? Do you think people should consider these local names, or should we stick to all the foreign names we're answering now? So call me on 091 55 55 5898. Again, 091 55 55 5898. Call me and let me know what you think about naming and the naming culture among Africans. Remember that names are a form of identity. Names identify you, but what kind of names should we focus on giving our children as Africans? Should we kind of return to the Mbweke, Mbori, or the local names that our people are known for bearing, or should we stick to the Emmanuels, the Henrys, the Abundance, the Endurance, all of the new names that we bear these days? Does that change anything? The idea of bearing foreign names, do they change anything? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
My name is Benjamin.
Benjamin, where are you calling from?
Guayaquil.
Okay, Benjamin, so what is your thought on naming, the culture of naming in Africa?
This is a very fantastic program. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think it's nothing bad about that. It's normal. You can give your child the local name, and can give him or her the foreign name, because sometimes some people cannot be able to pronounce the name or start calling the name anyhow. So giving the child the foreign name will help him or her, or
So the problem now is
Yoruba.
pronunciation.
The problem here is pronunciation sometimes. Then again, in terms of local name, good local name is good to have a local name. And then the local name will identify or shows or tells where you actually come from in the part of the world. To understand, but the foreign name is also good. It's very good. It's very good.
Okay. All right, Benjamin. Thank you for the opinion. Thank you.
About you talking about, it talks about traditional marriage, or what did you say again?
Oh, that was just an example. You know how we wear white gowns for wedding? It's not really like a Christian thing. It's just like an English tradition, sort of. Yeah.
For me, I don't support the idea of white wedding.
But then that's not the topic of today, Benjamin. We're not going to go into that for today. Maybe next week we can talk about that one. Just
okay, thank you so much.
Next week. Thank you, Benjamin, and good night. All right, Benjamin says the problem is pronunciation. Wow. But then we pronounce all of the other Asian names, all the Jin Champing and all of that. We make effort to pronounce them. So why can't others make effort to pronounce our own names? Is that a sign of inferiority complex, or is it not? Anyway, call me on 091 55 55 5898. Again, 091 55 55 5898, and tell me what you think about naming and naming culture. Should we stick to our local names? Should we give our children any names we want, or is there a significance to these names that we're missing out? A message here from Henry. Okay, I know I mentioned Henry earlier. Maybe Henry is not really happy that I use his name. He sent a message and said, well, it doesn't matter. What really matters is that the names are not demonic. Okay, Henry, thank you for that message. I wonder which names are demonic. Who wants to name their children demonic names? Anyway, thank you, Henry. 09. Hello, good evening. What's your name again? Amodu.
Yes.
Okay, so where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maraba.
So go ahead. Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
You see, the issue of foreign names does not depict our culture at all. We want to bring names that we don't even know the meaning. And in our traditional way of life, our culture, as rightly said, is through the culture, it's an identity. What happened to my wife? When my wife was posted to Kofi, he said, he was doing the posting, he can name a man, but he don't know the name that he knows. It's from my place, so they don't know that name I have was never my place. Yeah, I mean, it's complete. To the bush. I'm not talking about that sort of thing, but you have to bear your names, you have identity, where you're coming from. Somebody to know you. All those we are born in the world airport, that we are born everything, it is about our life, bro. And life is, if you wear clothes that will not defeat your culture, at times it will look somehow.
Yeah.
So let us bear names of our place, let us hear us to do it. The names are very born from them, we are trying to identify with them. And as it's coming with them, in Nigerian policy and African culture, as bastardize the system, bastardize the culture, bastardize everything. Some are believing that if we forget about those names, they are our own name, want to do this thing, fine. And they don't have the traditional name, your cultural name.
Okay.
There are people who know about that guy who says that it is a pronunciation. And I don't think it's in the reason.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And good night. Okay. He says it's your identity, which means if you're bearing your proper name, I mean your local name, for example, it can be a way to open doors for you. You know what he said about his wife and when she was posted to Kuje. Well, you heard that. Well, what do you think? Do you agree with him or do you disagree? Should we stick to our local names? Should we just give any names we want? And we'll have a message here from somebody, an anonymous texter from Maraba. Okay, Maraba again. She's saying our local names are identity I have 5 children, and none of them have non-Nigerian names. That's my contribution. Okay, thank you, anonymous texter from Maraba. Thank you, and for upholding the culture. I don't know the culture you are from, but thank you for putting it anyway. Thank you. Here from Tobe. Tobe is saying it is good to give your children foreign names in case they move outside Nigeria. They can easily fit in. Tobe, I'm not sure I understand this line of reasoning. I don't know how names help people to fit in, or maybe I'm just okay. Well, what do you think? Do you agree with Tobe? Will foreign names help you to fit in when you travel outside Nigeria somehow, like Tobe said, or is that just our own imagination? Because if you're black, you're black. If you're white, you're white. If you're brown, you're brown. Your name doesn't really change that. So call me and share your opinion. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Okay, please go ahead.
So that's the mission of purpose to say because when they move to other countries, then the white men that are coming to Nigeria, they change their name.
That's a very good question to ask.
If we really believe in our own cause and our own name, we should be critical about things that we work with. Our name is an original name. But when you know the meaning of your name, it should come to your culture. So something has happened that you want to remember. You give me that name.
Yeah.
So when you are going to do it, what is the meaning of that name? So that's it's sometimes dangerous.
Yeah.
So let us give learning to our children that tomorrow they remember. It's an inheritance. The one is dynamic. The generation of social transit from one generation to another. The one is going. Now if you are not cultural about the history, our culture will die down. And nobody will remember it again.
Yeah.
So let's listen to our children, the coming generation. Let us find solution to this problem.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sure Tobe heard that. Tobe, I'm sure you heard what he said. But if you don't agree with him, just call me back and share your mind. Coming back to what Tobe said about traveling abroad, I mean, you know, when people used to boldly say, I don't watch Nollywood movies, I don't listen to Nigerian songs, this one, and somehow those movies, those songs have become mainstream today. I mean, they gain awards, they gain recognition all over the world today because people kept pushing, people kept on the originality of those songs, those movies, and kept pushing. You can't be whiter than the white, you can't be more American than Americans, you just can't. So why not maintain your originality by bearing your local name, by maintaining your identity with those names, especially if you have children or when you have children, because some people already have these names and it's not really a wise thing to wake up tomorrow and say, I can no longer bear this name, and then just change like that. I mean, it's not that you can do it, but it's really a wise decision to just wake up and change your name as an adult, except maybe in marriage or for some other pronunciation. People need to know that you can put in the effort to pronounce anybody's name correctly. Don't feel inferior about your own name. Raise up your head high and know that your name is actually the best. Thank you, Miriam, for that heartwarming message, for your contribution. Are you against African names, or do you think that somehow it's against your religion? Because I know there are people who don't give their children any local names because they think it is against their religion. Somehow they consider African names, I'm trying to find the most appropriate word, but somehow they link these names to idolatry, and so they don't want to associate their children or link their children to whatever has to do with idols. But we all know this is untrue. I mean, but yeah, it's your choice, it's your wrap up. And like I said earlier, names are a form of identity. They tell the story of who you are, the story of where you are from. They tell the story of the circumstances that might have surrounded the birth of a person, according to most African societies, most African cultures. So it is important to stick to these African names. If you ask me, like I said, my name is Emmanuel, and it's already there. I'm not about to change that anytime, but in the future, if I have children, I may not give them Nigerian names. I just prefer the local names. I mean, to me, but your own choice. I mean, I respect that, and you can do whatever you want. But thank you to everyone that called, those that texted, and thank you for taking our time to listen to me today. On the next Tuesday by 6:30 p.m., I am saying a good night and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.